Hallo allerseits, herzlich willkommen zu Not for Broadcast. Wir starten hier ein neues Spiel. Uiuiui. So, jetzt aber. Okay. Empfohlen. Schwierigkeit. Ein ausgewogenes Erlebnis, Mechaniken der Nichtübertragung und Zuschauerquoten sorgen für eine angemessene Herausforderung. Ja, wir versuchen es einfach mal.
That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Ja, ich bin gespannt. Tag 1, die Wahl. Nach rechts. Oh. Anruf beantworten. Müssen wir hier?
Hi David, I have a call for you. I'm just putting it through. Alright mate, Dave here. Listen, I know you've only come in to clean up the place, but I've got a bit caught up, so you're gonna have to run the news tonight. Now don't worry, it's not hard and I'm gonna stay on the phone and help you. First, I'm gonna give you a quick tour of the broadcast room, so if you're not doing it already, look forwards towards all those screens. Right,
Okay.
look up at the top. That coloured bar is your audience. You want to keep the viewers going up and not down. Underneath that, you've got the screens. The one on the right is the broadcast screen. That's what the viewers are seeing at home. It's only a couple of seconds behind the master screen there in the middle. That's the one you control. Now, the four small screens on the left show the different signals coming from the studio, and you can choose between them using the numbered buttons on the vision mixer at the bottom left. Don't worry, I'll talk you through it and you'll pick it up in no time. Now, have a look to your left. These plugs control everything in the studio. I've left them set up for you, so provided you haven't fiddled with them, all you have to do now is throw the master trip switch and we're in business. Once you've got the power on, face the front again.
Okay, also wir sollen Nachrichten machen. Naja, gut. Das kann da schon schief gehen.
On the broadcast screen that we're in the end titles for the show before us. Fortunately, they go on for fucking ages, so there's plenty of time for me to explain. Oh, right, okay, they're over, so we haven't got long now till the broadcast. Right, quickly, mate, look down under the desk.
Later on tonight on Channel 1.
You can see a load of videotapes on the left. They're your adverts. Pick any three and load them into the machines on the right. When you've done that, look up to the front again.
Mein Salat-Wochenmagazin.
Series The Shape of Now.
Trainingsvideo des beliebten Sportlers Johnny Ham Sleeves für fitte Hausfrauen. Und dann nehmen wir der verrückte Neil. Vorweihnachtsangebot für Sessel beim verrückten Neil.
When you get the signal, select screen one with the vision mixer and we're ready to go.
Prawn and mayonnaise?
You know, seafood makes me go out and pustule.
Yeah, I thought it might increase our viewing figures.
Every day. You offer me prawns every day.
10 seconds, everybody. That's how I show love.
You're trying to kill me.
And yet you persist. Going 5, 4.
But now, it's time to join.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main stories tonight.
Okay, we're all good. Next is going to be to throw the news titles on screen 2. There'll be a countdown, but I'll count you in as well. Just relax, mate. It's all gravy.
Buys Honest Andy's Totally Independent and corners the flowered market. Top chat. Sports fans everywhere celebrate as popular footballer Johnny Hamsleeves wins Sports Personality of the Year. And a spoonful of sugar. Meghan will be chatting with movie star Lawrence Blunderclatch about his new movie, The Medicated. And, of course, we'll be going live to Advance headquarters to hear what the leaders of this fledgling party have to say on their historic...
Right, button
That's
2
all coming up on
in
tonight.
3,
National
2,
Nightly News.
1, Nah, lovely, mate. Next thing is the throwback to Jeremy with button 1 when that globe in the middle shrinks down and vanishes.
Also wenn die Weltkugel weg ist. Schrumpfen, schrumpfen und weg.
Here it comes. Switch to screen 1. Now, lovely, mate.
But first, the votes are in, and it's a decisive win for Advance.
We often get a bit of interference around this time, mate. Keep your eye on the machine at the bottom right. Use that slider that's flashing, or your scroll wheel to move the wave up and down, keeping the green bit in the white bit.
But critics have accused him of a severe lack of actual policies and of being deliberately vague.
Okay, das kann ich überall machen.
Parties have all conceded defeat to Advance's overwhelming mandate, but have yet to appear publicly. However,
Einfach mit dem Mausrad.
former Home Secretary
Right, it's going well. All you got to do now is play the advert at the end of the segment. Make sure you don't play it too early or we'll all get fired. Now the clock at the top is counting you down to the advert. When it reaches 0, press one of the 3 play ad buttons over there at the bottom right. I normally play the first one at the first break and so on, but you can play them in any order you want. I'll count you into it as well, but keep your eye on the clock.
to hear the co-leaders accepted.
Hier.
3,
That's all coming
2,
up.
1, advert.
1 minute back, everybody.
Jeremy, I need you to fill after the ads.
What? Why?
Wanker Snatch is running late.
I thought I'd ask him about the election.
Personally, I wouldn't try to confuse him with any big words.
That's the same policy we use with you.
I thought that was our little secret.
It's all right, he doesn't remember anything I tell him.
I'm deeply uncomfortable with your burgeoning friendship.
Me too.
Yeah.
Build your collection week by week, and very soon.
Wicked. We made it to the first ad break. You're doing great, mate. But this is where it starts getting a bit trickier. This next sequence is what we call a multicam sequence, because you're going to be cutting between multiple cameras to keep things interesting. A lot of it's down to personal taste, but here's 3 good rules of thumb.
These aren't my
1.
cards, please.
Try and keep the shot on whoever is doing the talking. 2. Don't stay on the same shot for too long. 10 seconds at the most. So if you're on the person who's talking, try and throw in the odd reaction shot or pull out to the wide shot for a bit just to keep it interesting. 3. Don't stay on reaction shots for too long. A couple of seconds is usually enough. Then the audience want to see who's doing the talking, yeah? Stick to these rules and you'll be fine. It's not as complicated as it sounds. You've seen programmes on television, haven't you? Make it look like those. Might as well get screen 1 selected now. No need to wait for the broadcast to start. Try and stay ahead, mate.
Quiet in the studio.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Das ist so cool.
10 seconds, everybody.
This exclusive offer is available for a limited
So.
Counting in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Later, we'll be hearing from shock election winners Advance. But first,
Get ready to go to Megan on screen 4.
is here with a star of both stage and screen. Megan?
Thank you, Jeremy. Megan Wolf, culture correspondent. And today I have a guest who starred in everything from Shakespeare
Right,
to the
go to
shot
Blunderclatch
film.
on screen 3 when she says his
Joined
name.
today by none other than Lawrence Blunderclatch. Thank you so much for
Das war zu
coming.
früh.
Oh, my dear. I do hope you believe me when I tell you that being with you here today is among
Switch to
the
2 for the wide now.
May I say, having you here with us is among ours.
Right, now just try and stay on whoever's
Film
talking.
your latest movie, which is called The Medicated.
The medicated, yes.
Oops.
Wow, what was that like?
Well, as I said to Peter at the Rat, that's Peter Jensen, the director. Do you know him? He's a wonderful chap, he really is. I've worked with him on several movies, all terribly successful. I said to Peter, what a wild ride this has been. And do you know what, Megan? I really meant that.
Wow, that is fantastic. And am I right in saying that the character you play in this movie is quite an academic one?
Absolutely right. A scientist.
Was that a challenge at all?
What exactly are you implying? But seriously, yes, you're right. It was a complete departure from my last starring role when I played Sergeant Brock Rockman in Bullet Man. You'll remember that that was the true story of one soldier's fight for a love that surpasses all others. A love of
Been on that
course,
shot a bit long.
a free love of course. I think think it's grossed over $1 billion, but honestly, who's counting?
It's a role that saw you scoop 2 Best Actor awards, if I remember correctly.
It's so sweet of you to mention it, but I really am not in it for the awards, although those 3 little statues do take pride of place on my mantelpiece.
With all the others, I'm sure. So, if you're not doing it for the awards, what is it then that drives you?
Oh, that is a beautiful question, Megan, and not easy to answer. Like you, I'm afraid. Cut me, and I will bleed. And often, that's how it feels, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Bleeding, doesn't it? Giving, suffering for one's audience. I suppose in the end, I do it for the difference it makes. I do it for the people that I inspire. The little people. But most of all, I think I do it for the positive change that I can bring about in the world.
And today, of course, we're in for some real change, it looks like, in the coming few months. What do you make of this historic election result?
Oh, well. Well, now you're asking. Historic election result. Indeed. Historic is the word. Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Very difficult. But I think I've always been quite clear that when it comes to politics, one should always strive to not fuck things up.
Shit, he swore. Oh, well, don't worry, he won't do it again.
Sorry, I said fuck.
Shit, he did it again. Okay, don't panic. I'll explain how to deal with swearing at the break.
Medicated, which opens next week.
Right, they've swapped the shot of Jeremy on screen 1 for a VT of the movie clip. You'll get a countdown on the screen, but I'll just let Megan cue you in.
My character, Dr. Lance Hemlock, is faced with a decision that could affect humanity's very survival.
Exciting stuff. Let's take a look. Exciting stuff.
Cool, looks like Blunderclatch is losing it in the studio, but we ain't got time for that. There's more interference coming. It's a bit trickier this time, mate. Use that little flashing joystick to the left of the knob, or hold down your middle mouse or Alt on your keyboard, and as the frequency changes, match it to the white bit by dragging right.
You think I don't know that?
Now we're going to squash the frequency back by dragging left.
Nolans, we mustn't.
Okay.
Dr. Lance to you.
Da muss man auf viel aufpassen.
Jubbly, mate.
For you, baby.
Next, we're going to change the amplitude. Same as last time. Little joystick or hold Alt or middle mouse, and this time push upwards. Upwards, mate. Upwards.
But I didn't listen.
Doctor,
I'm drowning, Lance, you said.
you need to see this.
Right, now let's match it back by going downwards.
The virus. The sterility. This formula. This is the key.
Okay, wieder rauf.
Frankly, mate, you're lucky to still be on the air. Maybe get some practice in.
We have to ask ourselves.
At the end of the clip, you'll want to play another ad. Remember to use the clock at the top to count you in.
Okay. Das ist stressig, aber total witzig.
Right, I guess I better explain how to deal with bleeping out swear words. As you've probably noticed, the broadcast screen, here, is about 2 seconds behind the master screen, here. When someone says a naughty word, the bleep button lights up, like this. 2 seconds later, you'll hear that swear word going out on the broadcast, and you need to hold down the bleep button, or the spacebar on your keyboard, for as long as the swear word lasts. It can take a bit of practice getting used to hearing 2 things at once. Just stay calm, and you'll get it. And if you can't tell when to bleep, just above the button, you'll literally be able to see the sound scrolling by. All you gotta do is hold it down while the red bit is over the red line. Simple. Of course, if you do it by eye, you'll have to take your eye off the screens. That's why real professionals do it by ear. Most people like to have the volume of the broadcast screen a little bit below the master screen. Let's set it now. As you turn it up, you'll hear the advert getting louder. Good. You're set to start censoring. Like I say, it takes a little practice, but I'll try and help you through it, and soon we'll have you bleeping like a pro. Remember, button lights up, count 1, 2, and hold it down. Remember to select screen 1 now that you've got the feed. Don't wait for the broadcast to go live. That's too late. You can use the number buttons on your keyboard, 1 to 4.
Seriously, Cadwell.
5, 4.
Puh, okay, weiter geht's.
Welcome back. And I'm told we can now go live to Advance Headquarters, where the two leaders, Peter Clement and Julia Salisbury, are about to make their acceptance address.
Cut to the outside broadcast. Oh shit, he's pissed. Get ready to bleep.
Thank you all for coming, and, well, where do I start? Well, what a day.
They said we couldn't do it.
They certainly did.
They used every dirty, low-down, lying southern trick they had against us. But you, the people, you saw right through their shit.
I'm sorry about the language there.
Sorry about that. I've had a couple of celebratory pints. Makes me coarser than a grown is funny. Coarser than a grown.
Memorably put. But to be honest, who can blame Peter for celebrating? Throughout the campaign, you've heard us say that Advance are not a political party. A party is what you have when things are going well. When the country is suffering, you don't need a party. You need a team. A team that can change things. But today is day one of a new future. A better, fairer future. So perhaps we should all be celebrating.
Except for the rich. For them the party's over. They shouldn't be celebrating. They should be putting their shitting pants on and opening their dusty checkbook pants on and
Again,
opening their
colourfully put, not inaccurate. Before we came out here to address the nation, we used our executive powers to pass the Assets and Wealth Act. Working with the tax office, we have produced a definitive list of every person in the country with wealth into the millions.
You know this sort of problem. You rather you don't. Because the likes of you and me are not welcome in their gated community.
Tomorrow we will be introducing a sweeping reform of the tax system in this country. No more hiding wealth offshore, no more trust funds or creative accounting. A simpler, fairer, unavoidable set of tax laws.
So all you bastard public school snobs have got nowhere to hide. Earlier today, we revoked your passports. You want them back? You want to leave like you threatened before the election? That's fine. But first, you're going to pay us. You're going to pay back.
Advance are going to turn this country from a nation of warring individuals to properly fund health and education, to raise the living standards of us all.
The pundits said we'd have to raise billions, but you'll see when we've reclaimed what's ours, that's absolute ferret shite. So to you posh twats,
The people who pay you a pittance to serve them drinks in their private clubs, the people whose children you raise.
So they've got time to get even fucking richer.
Advance have this to say to you. Advance have this to say to you. We are coming for your sports cars and your mansions and your vineyards.
It ends today.
We will put the wealth of this country back where it should have always been, in the hands of the people who created it.
Today.
Yes, it ends today. And tomorrow, we'll start making it fair again. Just like we promised we would.
And until then, ladies and gents, I suggest we all get pissed.
I can't argue with that. Thank you for your time.
Well, an interesting acceptance speech there from the leaders of Advance. And our apologies for the fruity language. Hopefully we've got that bleeped out for you in time. If not, someone's going to be in trouble. So, as the country braces itself for new government, that's all from us this evening at the National Nightly News. We'll be back tomorrow with full coverage of the first day under Advance. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Have a peaceful night.
Right, looks like you've got it now. Thanks for all the help, mate. I've got to go. Ferry's about to leave. Probably won't be coming back. Job's yours, mate. Good luck.
Boring politics then.
Weird fever dream, and I'm dying now.
You should be so lucky. I'll see you tomorrow night.
You're not coming for a drink?
No, got a date.
Lucky you. Try not to get murdered.
Puh. Entschuldigung, dass ich nicht so viel jetzt während dem Sendetag gesprochen habe. Aber das ist wirklich anstrengend, hier auf die 4 Bildschirme zu achten. Dann auch noch, zum Glück gab es hier nichts zu machen während der Übertragung mit diesen Frequenzen. Die Zensur war auch witzig.
You'll get a broadcast report. It's 3 pages. This first page shows you how well the broadcast went. Each sequence at an overall grade. Remember, grades mean bonuses and they keep the boss happy. If you want to know more about how it went, select more info. If not, select continue to move to the next page. Right, this is an optional section for when you really want to understand what happened during the show. You've got a graph there showing you what the audience did. They're a fickle fucking bunch. And of course you can really drill into the details if you want to get better at making TV. I never came here, never once.
Okay, also alle Kraftausdrücke wurden zensiert, das ist gut. Eine Sendung ohne Störsignale, ist auch gut. Und angemessen editiert. Na bitte.
Right, this is the important page. It tells you how much you're going to get paid and how much wealth you have overall. That bollocks at the bottom shows you the financial state of our main advertisers. But you don't own any fucking shares, you're a cleaner for God's sake, so why would you care?
Also wir halten einen kleinen Bonus. Aktuelles Vermögen Battlearm. Sehr, sehr nett, danke. Gut.
This is the last page and it tells you the state of the world, tells you how well the government's doing, and down the bottom there, this one's important, tells you what Channel 1 currently thinks of you. In other words, what the boss thinks.
Ja, der mag mich.
Alright mate, welcome to the archive. This is where you can have a quick look back at what you've done and how it looked to the public. There's 3 sections, broadcast, rushes and adverts. Let's start with broadcast. Click on it now. Over on the left, that's all the broadcasts that you've done. Click on any one of them and hit load tape. Once it's finished loading, you can use the rewind and the fast forward at the bottom there to help you get to the bit you want to see.
In a few moments, we'll be going live to tonight's national nightly news. But before that, let's take a look at what's coming up later on tonight on Channel 1. At 7 o'clock, it's the semi-final of the quotation game. And it's a nail-biting
Okay, das heißt, da kann ich jetzt wirklich das Ganze nochmal ansehen, so wie ich es geschnitten habe. Ich will nur noch kurz jetzt den Anfang anschauen.
Controversy as global mega corporation Remington. Top chat. Star Lawrence Blunderclatch allocated. And, of course, that's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Ja, das ist ja wirklich professionellst gemacht. So, jetzt verschwindet gleich die Weltkugel und dann geht's wieder weiter.
But first, the votes are in and it's a decisive win for advance.
Das ist richtig nett. Hier ist die Werbung.
Maine and iceberg. Plus this exclusive link.
Sehr, sehr cool.
Right, click on rushes and let's have a look at those. Right, this is the rushes room. It's pretty simple. The 4 screens you can see, they're going to show you the 4 signals you got from the studio during the actual broadcast. Difference is you can mute any combination of them so you can have a listen to the stuff you weren't allowed to show. Select the broadcast and give it a go, and when you're done listening to the backstage secrets, hit back.
Okay.
These aren't my cards. Please tell me these aren't my cards.
No, they're the right ones, apparently.
Oh, but this gives me nothing, Jenny. They must see that.
Oh, no. I think they think he won't have anything to say.
Oh, for God's sake, come on. It's a huge day. He's not an...
Absolute bonehead. I don't care, Rob. I'm not doing it. I agreed to do one beastly interview a day. I made that completely clear when we started. Check my contract.
Hi, I'm Megan.
Oh, piss off. You're on thin bloody ice, Rob. Whole wheat, man. Whole wheat.
We're coming back from the break. Quiet in the studio.
Thank you so much for...
10 seconds, everybody. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National...
Das ist cool. Und hier könnten wir uns die Werbungen ansehen.
Where can you get warm, sandy beaches, clear waters, and fine dining? Well, we're not sure, but here in St Bumley on the Taint, we've got a big hill and the bus comes twice daily.
Das ist cool. Okay, und jetzt geht's zum nächsten Tag. Mann, das macht Laune. Ein unerwartetes Formular. Als du nach Hause kommst, liegt Post auf der Türmatte, das meiste davon nur der übliche Müll. Aber ein Umschlag sticht dir ins Auge. Das Team möchte dich kennenlernen. Deine Neugier ist geweckt und du öffnest ihn. Es ist ein Formular der neuen Advance-Regierung mit der Bitte um Informationen über alle Bürger. Die erste Seite wurde bereits ausgefüllt. Name Alex Winston, Partnerin Sam Winston oder Partner Sam Winston, Kinder Charles Winston, 14, Susie Winston, 19. Tja, denkst du, das Wesentliche stimmt schon mal. Die restlichen Fragen musst du selbst beantworten, sie scheinen alle verpflichtend zu sein. Frage 1. Am ersten Tag in einem neuen Job würdest du freundlich auftreten und dich mit einem neuen Kollegen bekannt machen, produktiv sein und dich sofort in die Arbeit stürzen, es langsam angehen lassen, dich erst einmal mit dem neuen Arbeitsplatz vertraut machen, mit Freunden in Erinnerung über vergangene Jobs schwelgen. Erstmal freundlich auftreten und dich bekannt machen. Frage 2. Ein Kollege aus einer anderen Abteilung gesteht dir vertrauliche Informationen mit nach Hause genommen zu haben. Jetzt fehlt eine eher unwichtige Akte. Du würdest deinem Kollegen helfen, den Regelstoß zu vertuschen, deinen Kollegen überreden, es zu melden, deinem Kollegen versprechen, es niemandem zu verraten, den Regelverstoß sofort an deine unmittelbaren Vorgesetzten melden. Versprechen, es niemandem zu verraten. Das ist, glaube ich, das am wenigsten heftige hier. Frage 3. Heute wurde eine gesamte Abteilung wegen ihrer durchgehend unzureichenden Leistung gefeuert. Dein Boss hat neue Ziele festgelegt, die deutlich höher sind als die alten. Du würdest deinen Arbeitsplatz um die gleiche Zeit wie immer verlassen, länger bleiben, um die erste Frist auf jeden Fall einzuhalten, früher gehen, um dich im Pub mit deinen Kollegen über die Veränderungen zu unterhalten, früher gehen, um Zeit mit deiner Familie zu verbringen. Ja, wir sagen mal hier länger bleiben. Wir wollen ja schließlich das hier irgendwann ändern. Frage 4. Du und deine Familie wurdet zur alljährlichen Firmengrillparty eingeladen. Du freust dich auf einen netten Tag mit Freunden und Familie. Du musst dir an diesem Tag leider dringend die Haare waschen. Gehst hin, falls es sich ergibt, wärst aber auch nicht traurig, es zu verpassen. Hast schon fleißig mit deinen Kollegen geübt, um den diesjährigen Talentwettbewerb zu gewinnen. Jawohl, das haben wir. Hinter dir liegt eine lange, erfolgreiche Karriere. Nun sollst du vor dem Eintritt in den Ruhestand eine Abschiedsrede halten. Du listest all deine Erfolge und schönen Erinnerungen an dein Arbeitsleben auf. Du lieferst eine ehrliche Aufstellung der Vor- und Nachteile des Unternehmens. Du konzentrierst dich auf die Probleme und Herausforderungen, mit denen du zu kämpfen hattest, oder du gehst gar nicht erst hin. Nö. Am Ende der Karriere sollte man mal auch an die schönen Erinnerungen denken. In deiner Freizeit ziehst du es vor, alleine zu entspannen, zum Beispiel beim Musikhören oder beim Modellbau. an politischen Versammlungen teilzunehmen und dich für das einzusetzen, woran du glaubst, deine Kinder bei deren Hobbys zu unterstützen und zu fördern, dich in örtlichen Sportverein zu engagieren. Wir unterstützen natürlich unsere Kinder, natürlich. So würdest du deinen perfekten Urlaub verbringen. Inmitten der Schönheit der Natur, wo du dich von den Strapazen des Alltags erholst, mit der Erkundung des Unbekannten, um neue Erfahrungen zu sammeln und Herausforderungen zu bestehen, bei einem strukturierten Tagesausflug in den Vergnügungspark mit Spaß und Nervenkitzel für dich und deine Familie, bei einem romantischen Wochenende zu zweit in einem tropischen Inselparadies. Das nehmen wir. Die wichtigste Aufgabe der Regierung ist es, den Bewohnern Folgendes zu garantieren: Sicherheit, Freiheit, Zufriedenheit, Gleichheit. Ja, alles. Ja, sagen wir mal Sicherheit. Vielen Dank für deine Mitarbeit. Wir von Advance wissen, wie wertvoll deine Zeit ist und bedanken uns für deine Mithilfe dabei, die Nation in eine lichte Zukunft zu führen. Bitte unterschreiben. Gut so. Eine Familienangelegenheit. Es ist spät, Sam und die Kinder liegen schon im Bett. Du trocknest noch eben eine alte Lieblingstasse ab, eine abgegriffene Erinnerung an euren ersten gemeinsamen Ausflug. Der Aufdruck darauf ist verblasst, aber die alberne Grimasse bringt dich immer noch zum Lachen. Ein Klopfen am Fenster holt dich schlagartig in die Wirklichkeit zurück. Im Garten steht Chris, Sams Geschwisterchen, in der Hand einen knalligen neongrünen Koffer. Kaum im Haus nimmt Chris sofort am Küchentisch Platz, sichtlich gestresst. Chris holt tief Luft. Tut mir leid, dass ich so spät hier reinplatze, Alex, stammelt Chris, aber ich brauche einen Gefallen und ich kann mich an niemanden sonst wenden. Schon gut, was ist denn los? Du hast doch sicher diese verrückten Pläne von Advance mitgekriegt, das Kapital- und Vermögensgesetz, wie sie es nennen. Das sauer verdiente Geld der Leute wollen sie den Schmarotzern in den Arsch schieben, kompletter Schwachsinn. Du hast Chris noch nie so aufgebracht gesehen. Ich sage nicht, dass dem obersten Prozent nicht der Kies aus den Ohren quillt, fügt Chris hastig hinzu. Die können sich's leisten, aber Leute wie ich, wir werden alles verlieren. Das ist schlimm, aber ich weiß nicht, was ich dagegen tun soll. Du warst doch immer finanziell noch am besten gestellt in der Familie. Entschuldige, aber von den Reichen zu nehmen, um es den Armen zu geben, klingt gar nicht so übel. Chris' Augen blitzen gefährlich. So naiv kannst du doch gar nicht sein. Sie nehmen sich, was sie wollen und verteilen es um, wie es ihnen passt. Keine Regierung sollte diese Macht besitzen. Hör mal, deswegen bin ich nicht hier. Du musst mir deinen Reisepass leihen. Was? Meinen Reisepass, das geht nicht, das ist doch illegal. Meinen haben sie mir abgenommen, so wie fast jeden zweiten im ganzen verdammten Land. Aber es sagen doch immer alle, wie ähnlich wir beide uns sehen. Also, Chris läuft nervös auf und ab. Ich muss weg, bevor es zu spät ist. Erst dann ist mein Geld in Sicherheit. Und ich auch. Aber es muss sofort passieren. Bevor sie meine Konten einfrieren. Bitte, ich würde nicht fragen, wenn ich eine andere Wahl hätte. Okay, wir geben sie ihm mal. Ich bin gespannt. Du erklimmst leise die Treppe zum Schlafzimmer, um niemanden zu wecken. Sam hat sich in die Bettdecke gewickelt wie üblich, wenn du später zu Bett gehst. Du öffnest den Kleiderschrank, schließt den Safe auf und nimmst den Reisepass heraus. Eine schläfrige Stimme durchbricht die Stille. Alex, was machst du da? Nicht, Schatz, alles gut, schlaf weiter. Chris ist unten, braucht meinen Reisepass, um damit das Land zu verlassen. Es ist alles gut, natürlich. Sam ist nicht überzeugt. Bist du sicher? Was suchst du um diese Zeit im Safe? Ja, sicher, alles in Ordnung, mach dir keine Sorgen, komme gleich ins Bett. Ich glaube, die lässt nicht locker, wir sagen sie besser gleich. Sam richtet sich kerzengerade auf, an Schlaf ist nicht mehr zu denken. Was? Um das Land zu verlassen? Steht es wirklich so schlimm? Anscheinend, aber außer Landes hat Chris nichts zu befürchten, dafür ist allerdings mein Reisepass nötig. Das sagt zumindest Chris, aber ich bin mir nicht sicher, ich weiß nicht, ob ich wirklich meinen Reisepass hergeben soll. Ja, nehmen wir das. Wir wollen ihm helfen, natürlich. Die Sorgenfalten auf Sams Stirn scheinen sich zu glätten. Danke, wir müssen als Familie zusammenhalten und wie ich mein Geschwisterchen Chrissy kenne, ist das alles wahrscheinlich eine ziemliche Überreaktion. Genau, ich bringe das nur schnell nach unten, dann komme ich ins Bett. Es tut mir wirklich leid, ich weiß, wie wichtig dir deine Familie ist, aber ich halte das einfach für keine gute Idee. Ja, machen wir das schnell. Natürlich. Du schließt den Safe auf, gehst wieder nach unten, wo Chris nervös zappelnd am Tisch wartet. Bei deinem Eintreten springt Chris sofort auf. Und, hast du ihn? Ja, hier, ich wünsche dir viel Glück. Zum ersten Mal lächelt Chris. Es ist ansteckend. Danke, ich weiß es zu schätzen. Ich melde mich, sobald ich das Land verlassen habe und in Sicherheit bin. Chris nimmt den Reisepass, atmet erleichtert auf und verschwindet mit dem nahezu fluoreszierenden Koffer in die Nacht. Du gehst zu Bett in der Hoffnung, dir einen Teil der Bettdecke schnappen zu können, ohne Sam zu wecken. Ich bin gespannt, welche Auswirkungen das Ganze jetzt haben mag. Ja, auf jeden Fall ist das ziemlich spannend. Tag 8, die Auswirkungen. Es geht los. Ach so, wir sollten vielleicht das Telefon abheben.
Let's get set up and get on with it, eh? So I can get back to my guests. First of all, let's get the power on. You need to get at least the bottom 4 plugs on.
Ja, die sind... Ach so, ist das...
Right, let's load up the adverts. You know, load the tapes under the desk. Look.
Ja.
You might want to have a bit of a think about it. Your decisions have consequences, don't they?
Sollen wir spielen? Ist dieses Spielzeug sicher? Mr. Kuschelflausch. Absolutes Must-Have von Remington Swiss für ihr Kind zum Weihnachtsfest. Sollte gespielt werden. Vorstellung des Jugendteams der Advance Tatmenschen. Elegante neue Hautcreme mit dem schweinischen Etwas. Uiuiui. Ellen James in Kürze in einer mittelgroßen Halle in ihrer Nähe. Das nehmen wir auf jeden Fall und dann nehmen wir Ellen James noch dazu.
Right, you can see they finally got the old headline system up and working again, and the vision mixer's already in headline mode because headlines always come at the start. It's really simple, mate. These 2 buttons at the bottom of the vision mixer, you can see they now have A and B on them, and they're to help you pick image A on the left bottom screen here, or image B on the right bottom screen here. It's really simple. This little clock here will count down the number of seconds you have to make your decision. Provided you make a decision in that time, you're fine. And you can change your mind as much as you want until the clock reaches 0. But if you don't make any decision, you'll be fired before you even get to make another choice. I just want to say one more thing, mate. The pictures you choose to show of these people, well, that's how the public is going to perceive them, and that's going to affect their lives. So like with the adverts, choose carefully.
No,
and we're off. Good luck, mate. If I get time, I'll call you back in the next break. Yeah, I'm coming, darling.
My friend Janet says theirs gets really hot.
Puh.
Janet, you think dogs have their own secret language?
Yeah, the one that mistrusts the moon. 10 seconds, everybody.
Not the best source of consumer
Okay,
information.
alles ruhig. Los geht's.
5, 4, 3.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Dawson. Our main headlines tonight. Destination unknown. At the end of Advance's first full week in office, we ask exactly who's leading this charge. Tonight, I'll be discussing what the new future might hold with a leading economist and radical free thinker. With the Assets and Wealth Act on the brink of raising living standards for the vast majority of the country, I'll be asking my guests if we're on the way to a new future. Out with the old, Remington's fist have appointed Sophia Remington as their new CEO. The following photo, taken from our archive, gives us a sense of this influential young firebrand who, at the tender age of 23, becomes the youngest female CEO in history. Sophia Remington's appointment is a risk for the giant mega corporation. Sophia, as our regular viewers will be aware, has always been a wild child and has been romantically linked to several movie stars and sports personalities. In her first press conference this afternoon, Sophia announced a children's toy named Mr. Snugglehugs. Sophia promises it'll be all the rage this Christmas, but concerns have been raised about the product's safety. Making a splash. Intrepid scientist Dr. David Wong and marine biologist Ingrid Swarsborg and Horgensford have today set off to explore Dante's taint. The recently discovered cave system was previously thought unreachable, But thanks to a new breakthrough in underwater flood technology, the pair hope to successfully reach the imposing central cavern and the undiscovered plant species it contains. This is, of course, only the latest in a series.
Okay, das würde jetzt zu lange weitergehen. Ich würde sagen, das war's für heute. Vielen Dank fürs Zusehen. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao, ciao.
Playing the field. Rumors